Hello and welcome to Frank's School. I think this is the 11th day of Advent, and the carol that I want to talk about today, or hymn, is Hark, the Herald Angels Sing. Now this is not the first stanza, this is the last stanza. In this hymnal there are three, and I think this is, well, anyway, that doesn't matter. Charles Wesley strikes again. Here's that family of hymn writers, of theologians, preachers, hymn writers, English family. I talked about him before. He wrote something like 6,000 hymns. But the melody, this is such a popular tune. And when I looked, who wrote this, Mendelssohn. Well, of course it's going to be popular. Mendelssohn was such a great composer. Here are his years. And when I was writing it up there, I was struck at that. I guess he died at age 38. Now this is in the Romantic era. And elsewhere I had taught that so many of the Romantics lived such short lives. They burnt themselves out. And maybe that was the case with Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn was born in Hamburg, Germany. He had a real close connection with England. I think he went to England a dozen times. Charles Wesley, incidentally, went to the United States. But he didn't stay. He ended up coming back. It didn't work out for him. But anyway, back to Mendelssohn. There's too much really to say about him for now. He was Jewish by birth, but then he converted, or his parents converted. He became a Reformed Lutheran, I think. And that's another thing too. Boy, well, I just hadn't better go into it. Well, what I was going to say is the Jewish contribution to music. Western music is astounding, and he's really part of it. The wedding tune, the wedding march, he wrote that, or that was from A Midsummer Night's Dream. So much to say about him. But what really struck me, I thought, what? When I was researching it, and you can see this yourself if you go on Wikipedia, he said he was a fairly conservative man, and his music was conservative. When his contemporaries were doing much more modern things, he was conservative. Maybe one of the reasons I like his work. His cantata, he never finished it, Christus, has a gorgeous anthem that comes from it, and this tune came from a cantata that was secular. He wrote a cantata honoring Gutenberg's Bible, or his book, his printing press. Anyway, the name Lint. I sort of hope Eva Lint is watching this at some point. I'm just researching along, and here I find out that there was a soprano, Jenny Lint, a Swedish soprano, whose voice, whom he liked so much. He was devoted to her. And as a married man, he sent her a letter, supposedly, and I don't think there's any doubt. She was not married, I guess, at that time. But he offered to elope with her and go to America. He was so taken with her. I just found that so interesting. But that last name of Lint, is it something about the name that produces wonderful and beautiful sopranos? Elsewhere in this course, I said that my favorite soprano by far is Eva Lint. And I actually sent her a message to say, do you know about that? Well, she probably does. Anyway, enough on that. The word hail, I would probably pull it out. Kids might not know hail, but it means be healthy. It's cousins with Heil in German Heil, which means, which is so famous from Heil Hitler. It means wishing you health, be healthy. And Wassail, after Christmas, I'm going to talk some about the secular celebrations. And Wassail would be you drink to somebody's health to make sure that they're healthy. Be healthy. Well, the text, hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace. Hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace. Now that, by contracting it, that makes it pure dactylic. strong, weak, strong. No, I'm sorry. It's not dactylic, it's trochaic. This is trochaic meter, strong, weak, strong, weak. Each foot goes like that, and it ends on, it doesn't have a weak ending. Hail the sun, of brightness, 4, so it's tetrameter, trochaic tetrameter, although it always ends on a strong beat. And the rhyme scheme, here, he didn't rhyme. Everywhere else he does. It's in couplets, but not here. Brings, wings, by, die. It would be A, B, C, C, D, D, E, E. That's sort of unusual. Risen. You'd think that it would be printed like that for the same reason here, so that it's like risen with healing. Now, the sentence that, well, if I were looking for vocabulary, I would probably use Hark. You know, my 8th graders might not know what, they might know what that means. And Herald, I've talked about that before. You know, to a typical kid, Herald is a guy's name. Some guy named Herald, whom they often confuse with Herod. Herald. You know, so these angels they all have the name Herald. In English, in American English, they sound the same. Herald, Harold. We just say Herald. They both sound the same. I might, come here, cat, get out of the room. I might say something about the way you can take words together and use a hyphen to modify. But in any case, here's what I will diagram. Oh, and I did want to point out the punctuation, that hark means listen, hark. The herald, and a herald is a guy who blows a horn or beats a drum and says, hey, got big news, and gives the news. And look at the punctuation. They sing, here's what they sing: glory to the newborn king. And this is a refrain. It comes at the end of every one of the stanzas. All right, let's see. I think once again, while I'm erasing, you could try to diagram that, or just put pause and see what you could do with that. Interesting, you know, that's what I'm kind of going for here. Mild he lays his glory by. Well, here's the subject. Oops, I better set this up like this. What he does is he lays glory. His glory, and where does he lay it? He lays it by. Well, I should have just struck. I have this feeling I got a cat. All right, mild he. This isn't mildly. He doesn't do it mildly. He is mild. Now, born. Well, born. They all describe him, and I do it like this because this is a past participle. I don't know what's going on with those cats. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Born. Now, in a poem, when you start several lines in a row the same way, there's another name for it. I call it a catalog. It's a poetic device. There is another name for it, but I can't remember it. You'd be entertained to hear a wicked cat fight in a moment. I knew it. Oh well. They usually are short. Born, why? I'm going to have to erase some of this. Why? So that. Well, so that. But the so isn't there. This is oh, come on, cats. I may have to go get a cat and time out. Cats, come here. Come here. Can you stop? Oh well, you don't see this every day in a video. Here's one of the two offenders. Born. Now don't go and fight again. You hear? Uh, that born that man may no more may die. This is harder. I probably should have erased this. Born. Whoops. You join it by the man may die no more. I'll put that in a moment. And the word "that" is about the most interesting word. I've said that before. Okay, the most interesting word in English language. It can be so many different things. Well, here it is a subordinating conjunction working with so. Why? Answers the question why. That man may die no more. Born, to raise. Now here we've got an infinitive phrase, to raise sons of earth. The sons of earth. Okay, now I've got room. And one more time, born, why? To give. To give. And here we've got an indirect object, to give to them. To give them. You just, it's like a prepositional phrase, but you don't put the, you leave that empty. Born to give them what? Birth. Second. Alright, born that man may die no more. Let's see. I guess what I do here is more, no more. I think that's how I do it. Well, this has been kind of different. Oh well, maybe more interesting. Okay. Well, it's been an interesting experience here. I'll go do some peacemaking among the cats, and we'll see you tomorrow.